Good morning. Welcome to the Community for Conscious Living weekly live broadcast. Today is Sunday, February 23rd of 2025. The Community for Conscious Living is a community dedicated to personal transformation for universal harmony, healing the planet by making inspired changes in ourselves and in our daily lives that create a sustainable environment in a peaceful world. Our topic for today is healing from victim blaming. We've been seeing a lot of that. As I mentioned last time, I've kind of laid out this series of topics that I'd like to cover as I'm working up to the launch of my book, Fear, Food, and Feminine Power, which the pre-launch will be starting very soon. And then the book will be available, God willing, April 8th. So I set up this list of topics, and at the time I thought I was writing for, what women go through on a regular basis that cause us to um, have that underlying feeling of fear that and we often use food as a crutch to soothe ourselves when we're in that feeling, that underlying fear, that underlying angst. And so I've got all these topics that deal with that. And wouldn't you know, with right as I'm kicking these off, they really align with what is going on in our political world right now in our United States and really around the world. So, we're seeing victim blaming. You look at the number of people who are being fired from their government jobs right now, who are being, given uh, unjust criticism for, or, what do you call those reviews, right? That have criticized their performance, that are just, lining them up to justify their termination. And we're seeing that all over. We're seeing wars, where I don't know that we ever really know the truth about what happens and why we get into wars unless, you're at a very high level in our world leaders, amongst our world leaders. But, we're seeing the victim blaming there. We're seeing it in, um, the whole thing about the DEI hires and blaming DEI hires for planes falling out of the sky, for goodness sakes. So we're seeing it in a lot of places, and it's really being experienced not just in women, right? Women who have experienced abuse, who have experienced sexual harassment, who have experienced, sexual trauma, have been victim blamed for years and years and years, for generations. And so we carry this, and it has an effect. Now we're seeing it very widespread, very broad, and it's whether you're experiencing it directly or witnessing it somewhere else, it still has an impact. It sends a subtle message, and our subconscious picks this up, and we respond to it, right? And it has a tendency to stifle our voices, and we tend to kind of shrink in and hide. It puts blame and shame and, this whole guilt package onto the person that is being blamed, right? That is being blamed and shamed. Even if it is unjust, it just like that is the energy that carries, right? When you have been the receiver or the victim of an incident, right, or a crime of some sort of abuse, some unjust, unfair, when you have been the victim of that and you are blamed for it, it takes this whole ball of energy and puts it right onto you, right? And you carry, what is the reaction, the subtle energy body reaction to that shaming, blaming, guilting, right? We turn inward. We try to hide ourselves. We stifle our voices. We hide our light, right? In trying to hide any part of us that may be at fault or at blame. We hide our light. We hide our truth, right? And it really takes a conscious, reaching in and finding that place of courage and bringing that out to break through that bubble and obliterate it from our field, from our energy field, and be able to stand up and say, no, no, right? Because, there's a couple of things I want to talk about today. There is that energy of it, and there is the way that we speak of it, and just the whole thing that we put on around that victim state. And then we're going to go through a process of really releasing it and really finding like, all right, let's stand in the power that we have. Let's stand in the truth that we have, because there are certain things that no matter what anybody ever does to you in this life, that no one can take away. No one can take from you your true power, your true light. It is inside of you. It is inherent in you. You have a strong connection to that inside your body. Like there is a force, a divine power that connects you to your truth and to your power, to your core light, no matter whatever happens to you. You can never be separated from that. As long as you're in this physical body, you cannot be separated from that. That is in you, inherent in you. You can reach into that. You can pull it out. You can be in your power, in your strength. It's there and you've got it. So let's take a deep breath. And I want to, before we come into the meditation and healing circle, I want to say one more thing about the whole victim thing, right? Because inevitably, every time I bring up victimhood or victim, the word victim, there are a number of people who've been in the personal development world for a while who come up and say, oh, but I'm not a victim. I can't be a victim, right? We can't call ourselves victim. But victim is just a term. It is a word, a term for someone who has been the victim of, experienced something that at the hands of another that was not their fault. It doesn't make you bad to use that word victim, right? It's not a flag we want to wave forever and use as a way to justify, any kind of special treatment or anything like that, because it does get used like that sometimes. So it's not that we want to use that flag of victimhood in order to, keep ourselves down or justify our, any, like I said, special treatment. But we can't deny that victimhood is real. Victimization does happen. So we want to acknowledge that, and we want to bring the right energy, the right healing to it in order to be able to move through it and find that power from within and become stronger as an outcome of the experience of victimhood. Okay. And a lot of times, like if you've had victimization on an ongoing basis as a child, for example, right? I've known people who have experienced that. I've met adults who've experienced that. I've known, like, witnessed children going through it and had conversations with them. When it's just like at that age and stage and you don't know anything different, you don't see yourself as a victim. It is just life. It is the way, it's just a way of life. It's all you know. But at some point in your life, you start to wake up and say, wait a minute, that's not the ideal. That's not right. There are other ways to be in this world, and I don't have to live in that state, which really is a state of victimhood, right? And it's kind of like when you wake up to that and recognize, oh, this is victimization. This is victimization, and I don't have to live in this way. It's like first stage of the healing process. So it's not a bad thing to acknowledge that and say, hey, this is what it is, right? Call it for what it is. And, I want to say it. Okay, I said one more thing about the way that we speak about victimization, right? About someone who's experienced a crime. We say he was robbed, she was raped, and he was abused, or she was swindled, or whatever, or unjustly terminated from her job, or accused of, right, being responsible for some great tragedy that was not her fault. So, we have these ways of speaking of it in the passive, like she was, he was, right? And we take the perpetrator of the victimization, the one who is the victimizer, we take them out of the sentence, out of the way that we speak. So part of what we're going to do today is because it's like it puts the whole weight of the situation onto the person who was victimized, and that is very heavy. So part of what we're going to do today is we're going to shift that languaging, and we're going to take that weight off of the person who was victimized, put it onto the victimizer, and or to give it to the angels and let them do with it whatever they will. They know best. So we're going to take that weight off of the victim. We're going to break free of that bubble that is put on, right, that causes that shaming and blaming. And we're going to reach deep down inside, and we're going to find that core that ties to that core light, and we're going to purge out anything that does not belong in your consciousness, that does not align with your core truth, so that what remains is you in your power, aligned and connected with your core truth, your core light, who you are created to be in your beautiful, powerful, expressive self. Right. So now let's come into our circle. Let's come into our circle sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, coming together as one. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. And let's imagine us all sitting side by side, all facing, it's like we make a perimeter of a wheel. And at the very center of the wheel, it's like they're between our hearts, and the very center of the wheel is a spoke, and at the center is the hub. And let's call that pure divine light, that representation of the highest, the most high, the pure light. And let's really even call on the light of God and the heart of God. And let's, or spirit, you can use whatever name you choose. I believe we all have names for the highest spirit, the source. So use whatever name works for you. And just imagine it right in front of you. And turn your heart to face directly into that light, into that heart, really connecting your heart energy to the heart of your source. The pure, unconditional love that is the breath of life, that is like what is emanated through the breath of life that fuels each and every one of us. And just breathe into that as you face your heart into that light. Just imagine you have a funnel of energy at the front of your heart space, in the front of your chest, and turn that funnel of energy into, like, really connect with the heart of your source. And breathe that energy into your chest, into your heart space. And as you exhale, just blow out any of the tension, of the clutter. If you need to do some tapping on your chest, you can do some tapping to loosen up any guardedness that you have over your heart. You can tap all the way up under your collarbones and do some gentle feathering with your fingertips from the base of your ear down the sides of your neck to your collarbones. Kind of loosen up that throat area and tap up under the collarbones and into the center of the chest. Take a breath, scoop up all of that stuff that's loosened up, and then exhale, blow it out. And again, turn your heart to this light and this pure unconditional love at the center of our circle. And breathe and let your heart just kind of get into a rhythm of breath with the heart of your source, the breath of your source, and let this light be absorbed into your body as this love pours into the center of your heart. Just let your vessel open and receive this pure divine light and unconditional love that streams into your body. And bring everything, bring your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, your face to face into that light and that love. and just let it fall upon all of your sensory organs and be absorbed into your body through your eyes, through your ears, through your nose, through your mouth. Breathe it in. Breathe in that pure divine light and unconditional love. Breathe it in to your body and turn your belly space, right? Your belly, oh, especially in the victimization stage, that belly can really be shrunken in and hiding. So just invite it in whatever state it's in. Also turn to face directly toward that light and that love. It can be a tender space, so it doesn't have to do anything other than just be present and let itself sit in the presence of this pure divine light and unconditional love. You turn your hips also to face square into that light and that love. And let your whole body and your shoulders, just let your whole body be present and absorb that pure divine light and unconditional love. And breathe it in. And as you breathe it in, it's like that light. Let your whole body, through every pore of your skin, absorb that light. And your breath really take that in. And breathe it all the way into the very center of your body. You can upright your spine and just kind of imagine your head as being lifted up from the very top, from the crown. So your spine is lengthened and making space inside your body and aligning your vertical core. And as you inhale, just draw this pure divine light and unconditional love all the way in to the very core, very center of your body. If you imagine you've got a core pillar of light that runs through the top of your head, through this crown, all the way through the center of your body, halfway front to back, halfway side to side. So this coming through the top of your head, going through your head space, through your throat space, through your heart space, through your rib cage, through your solar plexus, through your abdominal space, through your sacral center, and through your base. This pure divine light streaming through you. And as you inhale this light and this love, draw that all the way into that vertical core. And as you exhale, just let yourself drop down, land into your hips, and really feel your weight into your seat. And just kind of anchor into your hips, center into your pelvic bowl, the very center of your pelvic bowl. If you imagine your pelvis like making a bowl inside, at the bottom of your body. And right in the center of that bowl, it's a few fingers width beneath your belly button, halfway front to back and halfway side to side. If you slightly engage your abdominal muscles, you feel that place inside of you that is your center of gravity, where you get you can source a lot of life force energy and strength from that place. And it also gives you your balance. When you move from that place, it's where you have balance and you can have more agility and really like a real supported freedom of movement when you move from that place. It's also like a great source of like a wellspring of life force energy there. So let yourself anchor into that place when you land into your hips. Feel your anchor there and really lean into your spine and breathe in. From there, just receive that pure divine light and unconditional love into your body with every breath, letting it come in and fill the whole core of your body, starting with that vertical core that runs through the center of your body and emanating out to every cell, and invite every cell of your body to absorb this vibration, frequencies of pure divine light and unconditional love, and let every cell absorb, take that in and receive, receive. And a full gentle breath filling your body with light and love and compassion. And an exhale, just releasing and letting yourself float, letting yourself land in and float in this ocean of pure divine light and unconditional love, right? Your body is 75% water. So let it be like an ocean that is filling up like a sponge that is absorbing this pure divine light, unconditional love, eternal compassion, right? Calling that eternal compassion also it is the ocean of living consciousness that we swim in, and it fills our bodies. Our bodies are, as the poet Rumi says, you're not a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in a drop. So you are in an ocean and you contain the ocean within your drop. So let yourself just land in that drop and feel the fluidity within that drop. Let yourself have some movement, kind of like the jellyfish move through the water or an octopus moves through the water. I think they're so symbolic of the source and the soul as the soul moves through this ocean of living consciousness that we live in. So let yourself swim in this ocean. Another Rumi poem says, "These forms we seem to be are cups floating in an ocean of living consciousness. We think we are our bodies. What we are is ocean, too near to see, though we swim in it and drink it in." He says, don't be the cup with the dry rim. So let yourself just drop into this ocean, float in this ocean, be the cup within the ocean as the ocean flows through you. And you are a drop of ocean within your cup. Just let it fill and fill and fill with this pure divine light, with this pure unconditional love, and this eternal compassion. And the compassion, again, is the ocean of living consciousness. Let your cup float in that ocean of living consciousness, that pure compassion, as that compassion flows through you and feeds you, nourishes you, guides you, heals you, loves you, accepts you, contains you, protects you, nurtures you, cherishes you. Just let yourself be cherished. Let your whole being be cherished. In a full, gentle breath. Taking it in, letting your vessel expand as you inhale. And as you exhale, just release. Release and float in this ocean of living consciousness, this pure compassion. And let yourself just lean back. As you lean into your spine, lean into your heart space. Let yourself drop deep into your heart space, all the way to like where your heart space meets your spine. And you can kind of focus your breath in the back of your body, just behind your heart. Really let yourself drop in and rest there. And from this space in the back of your heart, as you rest into that space, just let yourself be a witness as to what wants to move through your body and through your consciousness as we go into this healing part of our meditation. Let yourself really drop into the back body, focusing your breath, the back of your heart space, resting in like you're leaning back and witnessing. Kick back on the sofa watching a television program, but this is the program of your own heart, of your own life, of what moves within you. And you are held. You are held in pure divine light, unconditional love, eternal compassion, and let your eye of your heart, witness from that place of pure divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion. And just call to those places of your consciousness that may have experienced victimhood in any way and taken on from any source, from any form, that it may have been your fault. And we always have some role to play, right? But when you our role to play doesn't make it our fault because everyone has choice. Everyone has choice. And by this, I mean, I don't want to put anyone into a trauma state. But when someone is abused, when someone is, we've had many cases where we've seen, a woman got drunk and passed out, and a man takes advantage of her, and she calls that a rape. And it is. And he says, well, but it was her fault. I mean, she passed out, right? But think about the person who took advantage of that. They had a choice as to help someone who was debilitated and needed help and help them to get to a place that was safe, or taking advantage, right? And we've seen cases where young men and boys, or maybe older men, have gotten off from their sentencing, or gotten a slap on the wrist because, well, certainly it was her fault, she was incapacitated. And that's just, that's where I've heard and seen and experienced where women have blamed themselves for getting into a state where they could not be defending themselves. And so it's not causing you trauma, but this is an example of a place where we say, oh yeah, it was my fault, I shouldn't have gotten so drunk, I shouldn't have passed out, right? This is a real situation, a real case. So just know that let's talk about the language first. Let's go to the language first, where you find yourself saying, again, drop back into your heart center. Let's go to the language first. If you find yourself saying, I was accused, I was abused, I was violated, I was, whatever that is, where you find yourself saying, I was, okay? And just feel how that weighs in your body and in your consciousness when you say, I was. And feel the weight of what comes up. And again, if you start to go into a place of like feeling traumatized, just open your eyes, look around, touch something, pick something up in your physical space. So you're not going into like a reliving. You don't need to do that. And just take this weight of whatever that is, feel the weight, take it and just kind of pull it out of your body and put it into your hands. And we're going to take that and just call in your angels, healers, helpers, guides, your unseen support team. Call in your source directly, call on the prophets, peace be upon them, call in the saints, the perfected ones, all who are here to support you on your earth journey to healing and wholeness. Just take that and give it to them. Give it to them and ask them to take it and lift it out of your consciousness. Lift it out of your subtle energy body. Lift that weight off of you. And let it go, let it go, let it go. Just breathe, deep breathing in that pure divine light, unconditional love, eternal compassion, and exhale. Just let any of the heaviness go. Let the weight go. Let the angels take it. Trust them. They can take it from you. And when you find yourself saying, I was, let's shift the language of that to saying, a person, a he or a she, or if you don't know, a person did this to me. Okay, a person did this to me. Or a whatever it was, whatever happened, just put it, like take the act, the ACT act, and put it into the hands of the actor because that is not yours to carry, right? So shift the language and just feel how that shifts the dynamic and shifts what you have to hold and to feel responsible for. Because every actor has a choice in how he or she acts, or they. It's every actor has a choice in how they act. So when their choices have impacted you in a negative way, give that back to them. Give the act back to the actor. Put it in their hands, just give it back. Again, call on the help of your unseen support team. Take that out of your consciousness. Take that heaviness, the heaviness of that guilt, that shame, that blame, and give it back to them. And let them just let it be between them and their source, their unseen support team that's getting them through this life. Just let it be between them, releasing, 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 put it in their hands and let it be between them and their unseen support team, their healers, helpers, guides, their source. And take a deep breath. Exhale, let that go. You can do some more tapping around your heart center and that feathering on your neck, your throat, letting that loosen up. Do a stretch of your jaw. Sometimes we really tense up around this victimization and trauma. We tense up the jaw, we tense up the neck, the throat. That's the body's survival mechanisms at play. So give that a stretch, right? Give that whole area a stretch. Breathe into that space. Do some tapping around your chest again. And big inhale to scoop all that up and exhale to blow it out. And then let's do some deep breaths into the belly space. Again, when you inhale, really let your belly space expand. And this diaphragm between your rib cage and your belly space, let that have movement. Let it have motion. Let it have movement, right? Let that, because that's another place that really tightens up when we talk about trauma and victimization, right? So that solar plexus tightens up and the stomach goes in, right? So let that expand out, give that rib cage some movement, do some like circling with your, moving your shoulders and your rib cage and your hips. You can even bounce your hips and stretch out your hips, your legs, and really let your base open up as much as you can. Do some bouncing to help you really connect your energy in with the earth and feel that support there. Really breathe again, breathe into that space, feeling that expansion. And as you exhale, just blowing out all of that stuff that causes that feeling of constriction from all that you've been holding that was not yours to carry. So just letting that release, putting it into the hands of the actor who acted in a way that harmed you. Put it into their hands, taking their actions out of your hands, their actions out of your body, their actions out of your any sense of blame coming from yourself or others. Right? If you've ever been like fallen for a scam or swindled out of something and you say, why was I so stupid? Put the acts back into the hands of the actors. Let it be between them and their source. Their actions are not yours to carry forever. Let them go. them go. And now I'm going to call on a phrase that is in the divine names. And when we speak divine names, we speak them in their, this is the language of Arabic, which is one of the sacred languages, the one I'm most familiar with. There's several sacred languages. This is the one I'm most familiar with. And sacred language means that when you speak the name, the sounds, the frequencies of the sounds that are emitted match the frequency of the thing that it names. So that's what makes it a sacred language. English is not one of them, but there are several: Aramaic, Hebrew, Arabic, Sanskrit. There's an Old Tamil and Mandarin. There's several that are sacred languages that really, the sounds, the frequency of the sounds match the vibration of the thing it names. So the first thing we want to call on is the divine power of clear truth. And this is the one that I wrote. If you're at the website, you see it written there beneath the call-in phone number. It is Al-Haq Al-Mubin. And Haq it's like that breathy H, H-A-Q-Q, Haq, right? And the Q just means it's more like a click at the back of the throat, Haq. And Mubin, M as in Mary, U, B as in boy, E-E-N as in Nancy, Al-Haq Al-Mubin, the clear truth, right? And we want to let this really clear out of your body. And if it's too much for you to try to say that in another language, just use your intention. That is what's most important, because Source knows your heart. Your unseen support team knows your heart. And when you're turned to them and you're asking for their support, they know your heart and they're going to help you. So really make the intention inside of your heart, from the depths of your heart, that, like, directly to them. Again, turning your heart directly to them and calling on them directly and asking for their support to release from you anything other than the clear truth. Anything sitting in you, any like concept of what may or may not be right or wrong or happen this way or that way, just let it be transmuted into what is clear truth, pure divine truth. Make it clear, in your clarity, right, about what happened, really aligned with divine truth. But that's what this force is about, this divine power. And we call on this force, this divine power, to really come into the core of your being and clear up your conscious alignment, your conscious perception of whatever has happened. Al-Haq Al-Mubin. You say it in whatever language works for you. I'm going to recite it in this language a few times to really call on those divine powers, Al-Haq Al-Mubin, come in and clarify and align your clarity of your consciousness with clear truth, divine truth. Al-Haq Al-Mubin, 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 Al-Haq Al-Mubin. Any class wars, any culture wars, any wars between rungs of power, anything that's affected you. Al-Haq al-Mubin. Really clearing any impact that has had in your psyche of who you are, what your place is, what your role is, letting that be cleared out. You're a being of pure light. You have a true core light, a truth, a strength, and a power within you that no one can take, no matter what role you play in this material realm. Al-Haq al-Mubin. Al-Haq al-Mubin. No matter the color of your skin or your country of origin, your DNA, your family, your gender. Al-Haq al-Mubin. Al-Haq al-Mubin. Let it align you with the core of the truth of who you're created to be. Al-Haq al-Mubin. Al-Haq al-Mubin. Al-Haq al-Mubin. Al-Haq al-Mubin. Al-Haq al-Mubin. Take a deep breath, really check in again with that vertical core of your body, that light that comes through the top of your crown and moves through your body, halfway front to back, halfway side to side, through your head space, your face, your throat, your chest space, through your rib cage, your solar plexus, your abdominal space, your sacral center, and your base. Just feel that filling up your core, really intensifying, like electricity running along that vertical core. And let that vibration along your vertical core resonate with Al-Haq al-Mubin, the clear truth. And turn your focus and attention, like breathe all of your energy into that vertical core. Let all of your energy attune to that vibration of core truth at the core of your body. Al-Haq al-Mubin. 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 And let yourself again land into your hips. Anchor into that center of gravity at the center of your pelvic bowl, and upright your spine, lengthen your spine, and let yourself lean into your vertical core. And let that vertical core of clear truth energize and illuminate your entire body. Invite every cell of your body to be cleansed and purified by this clear truth and aligned with your core truth of who you are. We're going to call on one more divine name that I didn't put in there, and it's Qahar. Also starts with that Q, and it's Qahar. Qahhar. It is the invincible, and it's a divine name that has the divine power, that has the power to purge out anything from your consciousness that does not align with your core light and your core truth. So when we call on the divine force of Yah Qahar, Yah means O, it's invoking Yah Qahar. Yah Qahar. It's like calling on, that is the one that no matter whatever happens to you in this lifetime, will always keep you anchored to your core light, your divine flame that is the spark of the truth of who you are. That's the spirit that embodies your physical being, giving life force, breath, and consciousness to your physical form. That is that spirit, that divine flame inside of you that is the core of who you are. Yah-Qahar. And we call on that force that really anchors you, tethers you, and ties you, connects you with that core light no matter what. Yah-kahar. And let yourself be anchored there, really tethered to that core light. Yah-kahar. Yah-kahar. And it translates as the invincible. The invincible. So if you prefer to use English or whatever language you use, just call on that which is invincible, which makes you invincible, no matter whatever happens to you in this lifetime, that you are always anchored to your core light. You're never, ever separated from your core light. And let that just draw your consciousness into your core light and strengthen that connection. Like let yourself really, for any part of you that's ever disconnected from your core self, just bring it back and let it be realigned and reunited and merge with this core light so that you are, right, that clear truth of who you are aligned and merged with your core light, your divine flame. And let it be strengthened. Yah-kahar, 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 that which is invincible, that can never separate you from yourself. Let it purge out anything that's ever tried and merge you with your core light. Yah-kahar. Al-haq al-mubin, the clear truth. Yah-kahar, merging you with your core light, your divine flame. Yah-kahar, Yah-kahar, the invincible. And let yourself really be anchored there. Yah-kahar. I'm going to call on, sorry, it keeps coming up. I'm going to call on one more set of divine names. And interesting, a lot of divine names that start with the Q or have that Q. And it's Qawi, which is like the strength and the courage, and Mateen, Matin, Mateen, which is the firm. And the Qawi is like the strength of spirit. The Mateen is the strength of form. And when we recite those together, it's that merging strength of spirit with strength of form. Really, I just feel like we need this today. I usually try not to put too many things on you at one time. But just feel it. If it starts to feel overwhelming, just feel it and let your body be merged. Again, the clear truth, really purging out anything of that's not true, that you've taken on as true, that's not true, and aligning you with the divine truth. Really giving your clarity of consciousness and aligning that with divine truth. Kahar, really tethering you to that divine flame that is the truth of who you are. And Yah Qawi, Yah Mateen is that strength of spirit and strength of form merging to become one strength, right? We are spirits integrated into a physical body, and in our life here on this earth, strength of spirit and strength of form merge and become one. Yah Qawi, Yah Mateen. You want them aligned and merged, operating as one, right? Spirit and body operating together as one unit. Yah Qawi, Yah Mateen. Strength of spirit merging with strength of form. Yah Qawi, Yah Mateen. Yah Qawi, Yah Mateen. Yah Qawi, Yah Mateen. And again, if you want to just do it in whatever language you speak, just making that intention and feel that force coming into your body. Feel it strengthening you, feel it aligning you, tethering you to your pure divine flame. That strength of spirit merging with your strength of your physical body and becoming one strong, invincible carrier of light and truth, and feel that in your body. Feel it. If you want to stand up, plant your feet on the ground, put your hands on your hips, and really feel your strength in your body. You stand in your Wonder Woman stance or your Superman stance and feel that strength in your physical body, whatever physically gives you that feeling of aligned with truth, aligned with your strongest integrity, that core of who you know yourself to be, that place that feels aligned and right and truthful for you. Stand in it with your alignment, with your strength, and feel like your spirit body and your physical body aligned as one, tethered to your divine flame, your core light, knowing and owning and embodying the truth of who and what you are. Kun fayakun, as we say, be and it is. Really feel it physically in your body. Take a deep breath. If you feel it, say, I am. I am. I am truth. I am strength. I am what I am created to be. Whatever that is for you that you feel in your being, state it. State it clearly and feel that all the way through the core of your body. And let your body take a stance for it, take a pose for it, and feel it. Right? And let this pose, this strength, this feeling really write itself into your consciousness, all the way into your cells. Invite your cells to receive that writing, this note into and feel, take a snapshot of this state, right? And let yourself be. And remember this. This is something you can carry forward, right? Even every day, every morning, and feel that stance. Get your body into this position. Feel this clear truth anchored with your divine flame, merged strength of spirit and strength of form in your physical body. Feel it and state your I am. Do that every morning and every night. And any other time you need to remind yourself, feel it and be it. Kun fayakun. That is who you are. Be and it is. Okay, deep breath. And I'm going to wrap up the recording and we'll open for any Q&A or discussion. Have a few minutes for that. If you're listening to the recording, you are invited to join us live on Sundays, 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time. Find information for joining us live at communityforconsciousliving.com, communityforconsciousliving.com. When you're there, sign up to receive the reminders and the replays. You get a reminder email that we're about to go live. You get a replay a couple days later. And you also receive 2 free gifts. One is a one-sheet, 10 Spiritual Principles of Our Human Existence, a reminder of who and what you are, what this earth journey is about. Help us to, there's so many things to pull us off. Help us to always come back, right? Always come back. And it also comes with a 15-minute downloadable guided meditation to help you to connect with that pure divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion that is the core of who you are, the depths of your being. All right, and with that, I thank you very much for being here. I love you, and I'll see you next week. If you're here, don't hang up. We're going to Q&A.